right standing with Him. If we don't got no spirit, we're not pleasing to God. We're not pleasing to Him except we accept all three, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And when we have the Holy Ghost, the Spirit of God works in us, and we begin to resist or fight back the things that are not of God. Are you following me? The antidote to the flesh. So if you have any issues that you're dealing with in the body, you have to inject yourself with more of the Spirit. You've got to inject yourself. Tell your neighbor, you got to inject yourself. You've got to get an injection. Now let me tell you about antibiotics, if you know about antibiotics. If you ever got an antibiotic and went to the doctor and they gave you an antibiotic, when they gave you this prescription, they let you know that you need to take this at the same exact time every day. Or they may give you 3 times a day, every 4 hours. And they tell you, don't miss a dosage. You need to inject this regularly at the same period of time because you need to keep up the fight. And if you miss an injection, if you miss a dosage, it delays your recovery. It delays your recovery because back to the story with the needle and the soldiers, the soldiers were fighting inside the boy's body and fighting the infection. But at a certain point in time, they started losing the fight. And the infection began to overtake them. And right about that time, the next dosage is supposed to be coming in. The next mortars are supposed to be coming in. The next soldiers are supposed to be coming in. They keep that battle up because you have to repetitively feed yourself, inject yourself with the Spirit, inject yourself with the antibiotic, take your dosage so that you can keep up with the fight. Likewise in the flesh, you've got to keep your spirit and build up on a regular basis. You can't go to church one time and think everything's going to be all right all week long. When you miss Wednesday night, when you miss Thursday day prayer, when you miss one Sunday, when you miss one Sunday, it seems like the next week all hell breaks loose. Because you missed your next dose. You missed your next injection, and now you're fighting from a different perspective. Now the flesh is on top of you instead of the spirit being on top of the flesh. How many of you know that we say the flesh is dead? Oh, behold, all things have come new. But he in a closet. He in a closet. And he's waiting on that prime opportunity to come out that door. And what the spirit man does is he guards the door. And he makes sure you don't come out this closet. And when we get weak on the spirit, the flesh peeps out the door and see, he getting weak right now. The guards are not here right now. They didn't go to Bible study this week. And flesh comes out the closet. And if spirit man ain't there to put him back in the closet, they wrestle, and whoever is the strongest wins. That's why you got to feed your spirit. You got to get your spirit 10 times stronger than your flesh. And your flesh can be larger than your spirit. So your flesh has no strength naturally. But we got to start, if I danced and parted and did all of this in the club all that time, then I shouldn't be no problem with me being in church. This and that. We got people that can't stand to be in church 2 hours. I was in the club 4 hours. You feed your flesh as long as it wants. But when the spirit's time to get fed, we're going to cut it off at a certain level. That's enough. We preaching too long. They singing too long. Why is they praying so long? We cut it off. The feeding of the spirit while the flesh gets strong, and he told them. He told them. And just because he ain't came out of the week, he had to wait for the prime opportunity to see that the spirit man is good. I think I can overtake him now. They didn't take their doses yet. And if I come out right about now, I'm in trouble. Come on now. A spiritual antibiotic. A spiritual antibiotic. A spiritual antibiotic. That's why we can't just go to church here and there. You know, folks try to tell me, just because I don't go don't mean I don't know the Lord. I watch church on TV and blah, blah, blah. It's about you knowing the Lord, but I want to know that He know you. A lot of people know of Him. A lot of people know of Him. But if I don't know them, I can't do or tell you nothing about it. So just because you know of Him may be good to you, but if He don't know you, if there's no spiritual connection between you and Him, just knowing of Him don't do you no good when you're in a fight. Just knowing of Him don't get you out of the trouble. I know Him. Amen. Well, I read my Bible every once in a while, so I should be fine, okay? But if you don't regularly feed that spirit, flesh will jump out. You are ordered or prescribed to take daily injections in your spirit in order to defeat the flesh. Turn with me to, look at verse 16. Look at 16. I told you I'm not long, so I'm not going to be long. Verse 16. It says, then I say, this is wrong. Then, this I say then. It says, walk in the Spirit. Tell somebody, walk in the Spirit. Walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. He says, walk in the Spirit. This is what I'm telling you. Paul says, I'm telling you, for you to not fulfill the lust of the flesh, and you've got to walk in the Spirit. He didn't say take a walk. Because if he said take a walk, that would mean you did that one time. But he said you got to walk in the Spirit. That means every time you see me, I'm with the Spirit. Every time you see me, I'm in the Spirit of God. I'm with the Spirit of God. It is a constant thing. It's continual because at any point in time, flesh wants to jump up. Flesh wants to jump up. Some of us think we can take one dose and knock it out. That's not how an antibiotic works. If you don't follow the prescription as prescribed, you can still be ill with whatever it was. Well, I took it 3 days. It said take it 7. If you miss a dosage or do not take an antibiotic as prescribed, you could still be dealing with the same issue. Oh, I just said something. I just said something right there because some of us have our issues. And we come to the church to get fixed of our issues, and we take 1 or 2 hits and go back to our regular life, and why are we still dealing with the same issue? Scratching out here, wondering why am I still dealing with this? This ain't no 1, 2, 3 take it. You have to continually feed the Spirit. Well, I went to church, but everything still looks the same, and I don't know if I'm going to church now because I done tried it, and things ain't moved by. And we think just because we went one time, things are supposed to change. But there is a flesh man in your body who you feed every day. Guess what? Some of you feed them 3 times a day. Some of you give them breakfast. You give them lunch, you give them dinner. You give them snacks. You feed him all day, every day. Hello, somebody. This is the flesh. You feed him every day. And then you have an issue and you go to church one day. Probably left out early because it was going too long. And was looking for a change to happen because you fed your spirit a snack while the flesh is eating steaks. You want the spirit man to be strong enough to defeat the flesh, but you fed